Hey, Dave, you want to hear the stupidest idea I've seen this hour?
I don't know. I mean, a lot of the other stuff we were just talking about was pretty stupid.
This one's probably, I don't know. Hold on, let me do a quick check.
Okay, all right.
Probably the dumbest idea we've seen
all
yet.
right. I'll take the word for it. Lay it on me.
Honestly, contender for dumbest idea of 2024.
Whew, and we're only 4 months into the year.
I know. That's what you get when you have CEOs who don't know anything. So there was a quote.
CEOs.
Former Blizzard president Mike Ybarra tweeted that he often felt that upon completion of a particular enjoyable single-player game, he'd like to give more money to the developers because it'd be worth more than my initial $70, and they didn't try to nickel and dime me every second.
Okay.
So
yeah.
I know $70 is a lot, but it's an option at the end of the game I wish I had. Some games are just that special.
Okay, here's the thing. I get where he's coming from, right?
Yeah.
But, like, that kind of already exists in that you can buy merch directly from the company who makes the game.
Yeah.
You can support them in different ways. We all know that tipping culture in the United States is already out of control.
Okay, hold on. Hold on. For the 3 Europeans that watch us, basically, whenever you buy anything,
literally
anything, for some reason, after taxes, they put like a sad like child in front of you crying with like a money basket and you go, let me put in $1, and then there's a mob of people who are about to jump you if you put in just $1.
Yeah.
So you go, okay, let me look at the percents. They want you to tip 15% of the bill, which is a gratitude. Some places, they want 25 to 30%.
I only ever do 20 if I do tip.
Yeah, and
that was the baseline for years, and I'm sticking by it.
Listen, and I understand, but however, here's the thing. The tipping issue isn't really tipping to do a good job. The tipping issue is basically because the people that are working don't get paid enough, and the corporate overlords would rather have the customers subsidize the wages of the employee.
And you know what I learned recently, which I confirmed for myself?
What?
The percentages they offer you. And you know how it shows the percentage, and then it shows like the actual tip price you're tipping?
Yeah.
It's nothing. That number, like, 20, we'll say 20%, and it's like 483.
Yeah.
That number is inaccurate.
Yeah.
Most of the time, like, I did the math, and I was like, oh, let me see, because I saw this online, let me see. It's like, oh, no, that's a totally random number that they just came up with on the spot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It could be more, or it could be less, but it's not actually 20% or whatever percentage you're seeing.
Yeah, and also not to also be evil about tipping, but some restaurants tip in pools, where basically you have a set number of tables and all the tips are into one pool. Yes. Then they divide it. So if one worker gets $100 and one worker gets $1, if they're the two workers that night, they both come home with $50.50, which also doesn't make sense. So this is to explain why tipping's stupid.
Yes.
You shouldn't tip people out of obligation. You should tip them out of the kindness of your heart.
Mm-hmm.
I should not be tipping people for video games. Because back then, you know how you would tip a video game developer? Back when developers would make more than one game every 7 years, you would just buy more of their games.
Yeah.
But because every studio gets bought, shuffled around, people get, sold. They don't have residual laws for video game purchases, but that one is also insane to me. They don't have residual laws on that, so no one get... Actually, wait, that would solve it. Just have residual laws for video games.
Too much work.
Yeah, I know that's too much work. Yeah, I know. But like that, being like, let me tip, and then we have to ask the bigger question, right?
Yeah.
Theoretically. Like, I'm not saying this to be a greedy penny pincher. I'm saying because I know this is going to get abused. Let's say I buy God of War Ragnarok.
Mm-hmm.
$70. I tip $10. How many people made that game? Do the localizers also count? Do we count the people who did it post-update, like all the new people that came in? Do we count the interns?
Yeah, no,
Like, where does the money go?
Because, like, if you would have to tip a monumental amount for everyone involved in making the game to get a decent percentage of it.
Yeah.
A monument, because like $10 for a AAA video game, that's nothing.
Yeah.
For a full team, for a full development team, that's nothing.
Literally nothing.
I don't get it.
Like, and that's just talking about like the developer. Like, if I donated $10, who gets what, right? What about the corporate CEOs? How much are they taking from the pie?
I don't really want to know.
Like, what? Like, and because we already don't know the budgets of video games, which I think also we should know the budgets of video games.
Mm-hmm.
If we know the budgets of movies and like the rule of thumb is double the budget when a movie comes out, we should know the budget of video games.
Yeah.
Right? On initial release. It's bad enough that they ever since like the 360 PS4 era, they hid the amount of copies sold. That's already pretty annoying.
Mm-hmm.
But like now they had the budget.
Yeah, I feel like at least with the number of copies, they only ever say how many copies it sold if it like
Does well.
If it does well, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Or they use shady language like number of players playing.
Yeah,
it's like, did they buy it? Did they game share? Like, who knows?
Did they pirate?
Did they pirate it? Is it part of Game Pass where it's a subscription? Like, we don't know. And this idea of tipping it just feels like a rotten bandage you put on a cracked dam in which you know how to fix the dam, but you're actively refusing to do so.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, how insulting would it be if you were one of the like hundreds of employees, I'm sorry, not hundreds, that was very rude of me, thousands upon thousands of employees that were laid off this year, and one of the richest people in the industry went, well, you know what could have solved it? What if we could tip them? Why don't, buddy, you figure out why? Like, I know you're the former president, but like, Jesus Christ. And the game...
He's also from like Blizzard, so like, we know Blizzard's not the smartest company.
And I get it if it's for like an indie game.
That would make sense.
Sure.
If I could tip for an indie game that I loved, I would.
Yeah. But like, he lists God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, Red Dead Redemption 2.
All the biggest games of the last couple of years.
With hundreds of employees working on them. Maybe thousands. Like 1,000 or two. From Software. For Elden Ring. And Baldur's Gate 3, which I could see Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, they're a small team.
But like, hold on. I'm pretty sure that's still a larger indie studio than most. Hold on, Larian. Man, we talked about Larian Studio twice this session. Hold on, Larian Studios. How many employees?
470.
Okay, yeah, 400. That's a lot for most indie studios are like 100 or less.
Yeah.
So this is a large amount. This is baffling. This is baffling to me. And oh yeah, and also this is a good point from the IGN article that I'm looking at, written by Wesley Ian Poole. What about like the store fees? Because every store has a fee on it, except like Nintendo and Epic. Actually, I don't remember if Epic Games has the smallest out of all the people listed here. So PlayStation, Xbox, and Steam, they have a store fee where you pay money to put your game on there, which is insane to me. And they take about of the cut when you buy stuff from there.
Yeah.
Did they get the tip? Where's the tip go? You're making a currency on their platform. Where's like this is such a terrible idea. This is a horrendous idea.
I will say this person here has a pretty fair take on it.
Yeah.
Paul Kilduff Taylor from Mode 7 Games says, people have discovered various ingenious ways to be angry about this, but adding a pay more if you want option to major stores would straightforwardly be excellent for devs. It works very well on Bandcamp.
Yes.
Which is true.
For devs. But do you know how many games are published just by their devs?
Not a lot.
So there's no way if I published a video game, right? Like if I publish, let's say I'm Microsoft.
Yeah.
And I publish an indie game. Let's say it's from Ska Studios, right? That's 2 people, 2 employees, right? And I spend $10 for a tip to Ska Studios. There is no way Microsoft's going to just allow that $10 to go all to Ska.
Absolutely not.
No,
Microsoft is going to take it.
They're going to take it. And I bet you $30 if Nintendo did implement a tip system, there's no way that they're just going to...
Nintendo taking all that. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, there's no way. That could be like the easiest money laundering scheme in the world. They're going to take a fat cut. There's just no way.
At that point, just get Patreon.
Yeah,
That's really the only way you could do it.
And if so, how would the Patreon work? Because it's a revolving door of employee. Unless no, this is all get ruined if it's a worker co-op. By the way, the worker co-ops studios don't apply to this. All right, that's because worker co-ops are actually well run, fair, unless reasons. But in the video game world today, this is a horrendous idea that can be easily exploited to just make rich publishers richer.
Yeah.
Instead of publishers just paying more.
All right, now the question is, there's a little poll down here. What are the results?
Would you like to tip?
78.8% say no.
Out of 1,600 people.
Nice.
All right. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. That's the moral of the story. I mean, on paper, it's a neat idea, but in execution, there's no way that it's theoretically possible in any way, shape, or form. You don't tip movie studios.
Unless I buy a little thank you card at my local store and put some money in it, like a birthday present, and mail it directly to the studio.
Actually, that's a thing I've been noticing is that there's no more PO boxes to mail to
really?
studios.
That
Yeah, because when I first made this show, I was emailing people to interview.
What is our PO box?
Those are expensive, dude. No one sends us things. But I was looking, and they don't even have fan email on most developer sites anymore. It's just
fun.
Contact us for business or leave us alone. And I'm like, what if I was a fan?
Well, I mean, at that point, the advent of social media has kind of made a fan email obsolete.
Well, no, it doesn't, because no one who works at Capcom. If I tweet at Capcom,
that's fair.
There's 7, that's a lie, 20 studios across the globe.
Yeah.
If I send it to the American one because I like the one the German game did, and I didn't know the German studio made it, how are they gonna see it? P.O. Box. Just
very true.
Very true. Right? And they don't even see it because there's a social media manager who kind of just blocks it like a goalie at a hockey. They're like, death threat, death threat, death threat. That guy like Dragon's Dogma 2, he gets a heart. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
Which the social media managers are already veterans themselves with how much they have to deal with. But come on. So I don't know, dude. I don't know.
End tipping culture, that's what I say.
True! All right.